like to thank everyone for joining us for our monthly Business Builder Speaker Series. This is an idea that was born out of the COVID days in 2020 when we couldn't get together in person. We said, let's get together once a month by Zoom, and we'll bring a speaker on a topic that's of value to our real estate agent community that we serve. We do the Business Builder Speaker Series the third Wednesday every month from 1 to 2 p.m. And bring on a different speaker on a topic to help you grow your business. We encourage you to stay connected with us. We're on all the various socials. Additionally, on our website, shafritz-dean.com, under the Resource tab, you can find a list of all of our previous Business Builder Speaker Series and go back and review one that you might have seen before for any information you might have missed, or go back and view any that you didn't catch under the original broadcast and can share those with your friends. This is a list of our Business Builder Speaker Series for the current calendar year. And you'll find videos for each of these both on our YouTube channel and links to the YouTube channel on our website. Mark your calendar, the third Wednesday of January. It'll be January 15th at 1 o'clock, and we will bring another Business Builder speaker to you at that time. Enjoy the holidays. We're going to take the month of December off from the Business Builder Speaker Series. So happy holidays from us to you, and we will catch you January 15th at 1 o'clock for our next Business Builder Series. We want to thank you for joining us today. We know you're busy, and we appreciate you sharing your time with us. To make the most of your time, we encourage you to ask questions. You're welcome to either unmute and ask a question or participate utilizing the chat box. It is my pleasure to introduce Gordon Owens, the owner of Go Digital, a web and internet marketing company. Not only is he a friend of the firm, but also someone that we work with regularly. His topic today is leveraging technology to stay in front of clients. Learn how to utilize today's advanced technologies like AI to make staying in front of your client base easier and more efficient, and leading to more listings and showings. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Gordon. Thank you, Gordon.
All right. Doug, if you'll let me share my screen here, I think you have to stop. Yeah, there you go. Thank you guys for having me. Let's make sure you guys can see that okay?
I do see your presentation.
All
Thank you.
right. Excellent. So, yeah, Doug and I have been working together for years and years and years now, doing all kinds of fun things with technology and helping their firm. And in one of our last meetings or a couple meetings ago, asked me if there was something new and groundbreaking and something I might be able to talk to realtors about in terms of technology. And certainly AI and ChatGPT and those types of tools are certainly in the news these days and a popular tool. And so I want to just break down some things I think realtors might be able to do very simply, leveraging some of these tools. So we will go through some presentation, and I will bounce back and forth and show you some live demos here. Give me one sec. So if you think about a Google search, and we've all been essentially trained to do Google, whether we didn't take a class on it, but just by the sake of using it, and you were planning your marketing calendar for next year, you might say, okay, well, I want a 12-month real estate marketing plan, and that's what you might type into a Google search. And you would get a whole laundry list of search results that are going to be somebody else's content. And it's going to be somebody else's video, their flyer, their PDF, take you to their website for a blog article. But it's not going to create, content for you to then go use. You would, literally be pointing somebody to somebody else's content. So if you think about ChatGPT or other AI tools, you're really treating them like a personal assistant. So if you had somebody sitting in the office next to you who was your assistant and you were going to ask them to do things for you, that's more of what the conversation with one of the AI tools is like. So I'm going to ask the Chat GPT, I need a content calendar for real estate agents based on the best time to buy or sell a house, right? And so that's the search that I put in. And let me switch my shared screen here, and we will go look at that live. Share GPT. There we go. So just like you saw on the presentation, I need a content calendar for real estate agents based on the best time to buy or sell a house. And so ChatGPT literally spit out a month by month calendar for me with three different bullets based on the time of year and what was going on at that time of year. So if we take a little deeper dive just into January, you can see that it's got some New Year goals as a potential article. Winter marketing benefits, or market benefits. So, what are some of the benefits to buying a house this time of year? And then what you might do to prepare for the tax season ahead. So, three great articles that ChatGPT came up and found, for me. So if we took this winter market benefit, so I took that and expanded it. So if I were going to put a blog article or put an article in my newsletter about that topic, I said I needed a 300-word article about benefits of the winter real estate market in Atlanta and emphasize the benefits of buying in winter, like motivated sellers and less competition. And so then I've got these two articles. And so you never want to just take this and copy and paste it and put it in as your own. What you're really leveraging the chat tools or the AI tools for is to give you a first draft. So in this case, ChatGPT has asked me, do you like response one or do you like response two better? And in the case of our demo, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to click, I prefer response one. And then I'm going to take this a little further. So I've got this great piece of content. I'm going to ask ChatGPT to give me several social media posts. Um, break this article into 4 social media posts. So it takes a couple of seconds, but it's much faster than you writing it yourself. You now have this tool working for you to give you 4 recommendations for how you might take that same piece of content about the winter real estate market, and now I have 4 social media posts to go along with that. So if we go back into the presentation here, um, so we've got those posts. I can go, find some pictures that are relevant. So I know you can't see this at the moment, but I'm going to read it to you. Did you know winter is a great time to buy a home in Atlanta? Sellers listing in the colder months are often highly motivated, whether they're relocating, downsizing, or adjusting for personal reasons. This means you could snag a better deal with more favorable terms. So I take that article, maybe I find a picture. There's some great resources for free pictures. There's one called Pixabay, so Pixabay. That's a great free resource for credit-free pictures that you can go snag and use in your social media posts. You never really want to just go copy and paste somebody else's picture and share it without giving them credit. You can certainly add your own pictures, making it more personal is better. But imagine a picture, maybe the last time it snowed, you took a cool picture of your house or your backyard. You use that as your winter selling picture. And then my other recommendation here is go in and schedule. So if you're using Facebook and you're on Instagram, which are probably the 2 most popular things for realtors to be on, you can use what they call Meta Business Suite. It's free, and Meta Business Suite, you can go schedule all of your posts on both Facebook and Instagram. So literally in the 2 minutes it took ChatGPT to write these posts, you go find a few pictures and you can schedule out your whole month's social media and you have a steady flow of content going out there to stay in front of your clients. And my last tip when it comes to social is that if you are active on social, be sure that when people make comments or like it or ask a question, that you're paying attention to it and you actually go back and engage with those folks. If this is a tactic that you're using to grow your business and stay in front of clients. So very quickly we came up with, at least one round of social media posts. You could do that for each of those three suggestions ChatGPT gave. And then you've got a whole month's worth of social media posts and content going out. Maybe if your firm does a newsletter on your behalf, but you have an opportunity to supplement that or add your own articles, you could put some of those articles in, so you make your newsletter a little bit different than everybody else's. Doug, I see a chat. Do we have a question?
No, Gordon, I put Pixabay, the
Oh,
web
okay.
resource for free photos, in the chat so everyone would remember it.
All right. So this was a cool thing that I played around with. Um, so you've got client and they're interested in purchasing a house. And I did this search in Roswell. I live in the little historic part of Roswell, so I just did this right around my neighborhood. And so the next ChatGPT task I had my assistant do, if you will, was I put in three addresses and had them compare what those properties were like. And so the idea here is you've got a client is looking for a house in Roswell, and they can certainly go out with all the technology today. You pretty much have a constant flow of listings at your fingertips. But wouldn't it be great if they're getting a detailed description of several properties that fit within their parameters, and you set up something very simple like this email that I have on the presentation? I found these great properties that I would love to show you. You then insert, which I'll show you in a second, the ChatGPT results. And then, you're basically nudging them like, hey, there's some properties that are in your wheelhouse that I'd love to show you. And again, it just took you a couple of minutes to generate this. A little pro tip, if you will, is you can set up in your email signature however you want this email to be, and then all you have to do is copy and paste. So when you click new email, you select the signature that you want for a showing, suggested showings, and then you just drop in what ChatGPT produced in terms of the summaries of the real estate listings. So let's go take a look at what that looks like. Let's see. All right. So here's the listing analysis. So I picked three properties, one in my neighborhood and two that were, close by, that are relatively similar price range. And I said, summarize these listings and highlight the difference between each one. Include a suggested order for viewing the listings in person. And so then I just put in the addresses, and ChatGPT went out and searched. It looks like they grabbed data from Redfin and Realty.com. And so for each of the properties, it has the price and some of the details about it, about each property, what makes them specific. And then what I thought was very interesting, um, I'm know relatively nothing about the real estate market or strategy, so the realtors on the call can chime in and say that whether this is good or not. But the suggestion from ChatGPT is to begin at the Freedom Lane property. And get a feel for the area. It's got a traditional layout and it's the most affordable price. And then Liberty Lane was a little bit more stylish in its features. And it's a similar price range, but it might, set someone apart. And then the more expensive property was, larger and more upscale. And so you might have somebody who, thinks they want to spend 525 or 550, but then you show them a property that's in the 600s, and this is what you're getting for just that little bit of step up in value. Um, so I thought that was interesting, that was the suggested order, and they had, ChatGPT came up with that on their own. Um, so then I took it and I said, all right, well, what if I were to list my house? So I asked ChatGPT, to create an engaging real estate listing for 7709 Georgetown Chase. And I put in a few stats about my house. And so then here's what it wrote. Again, this is all unedited on my part. Um, so it talks about the updated kitchen and bathrooms, the private backyard, the spacious living. It's a short walk to Canton Street and all the shops and restaurants and nightlife. Um, the year-round events like the Roswell Arts Festival, Live in Roswell. And I didn't prompt it to find that stuff. It just found it for me. So it says at the end here, this is more than just a home, it's a lifestyle. So this I thought was pretty cool. So again, and just you saw how long it took to do the query on the social media post. Very short time frame. You have a great start to creating a listing that you could then build off of and tweak. But instead of starting from scratch, you're able to leverage these kinds of tools. Um, all right, let's go back here. Oh, I got so we talked about creating the listings, which I thought again was a neat thing to use this for. And then the last sort of tip or trick that I had was I can imagine that, I live in Roswell. If I were a real estate agent and was working in Roswell, I would know Roswell, East Cobb, Alpharetta, the areas right around me. But if somebody, was referred to me and said, "Hey, I'm my best friend is moving to Brookhaven, and I want you to, take great care of them, but I personally don't know much about Brookhaven." So I did a little search about Brookhaven to see, what if I could become sort of a local without having as much, local knowledge as I might in Roswell. So I asked ChatGPT, tell me all the great things about living in Brookhaven. And so it came up with, again, all these bullet points, all of the breakdown. So location, accessibility to transportation, easy access to the city, the school, the good schools that were in the neighborhood, the parks and outdoor spaces, all the dining and entertainment that is available there. It mentioned Town Brookhaven, which is what I grabbed a picture of in the slideshow. Um, and then I've got, some of the community events, safety, and the different real estate opportunities. So all of this. So if I got a call from somebody who wanted me to show them houses in Brookhaven, I could say, great, here's some great things to, know about Brookhaven, and, send them this note. And it would put their mind at ease that I was going to take good care of them and that maybe I knew a little bit more than I might actually know about the Brookhaven area. So I thought that was a cool sort of trick and way to use technology to your advantage for a place that you might not know about. Um, and then I think next I'm just going to open it up to questions and see if you guys want to play. Um, so are there any questions, Doug? That was all the stuff that I had, sort of canned, but I'm happy to pull up ChatGPT and do some additional searches.
Thank you, Gordon. Not a question, but a comment that this is great info. So we've got one raving fan so far.
All right. Well, let's go back. We'll all right, let's go back to I'm just going to work this backwards a little bit. So one of the cool things that you can do with this technology is you've got this article or this listing. So I could uh, ask ChatGPT to rewrite this with more emphasis on historic Roswell. So you can see just in, it's probably about 30 seconds, maybe a minute. and you've got a rewritten version of your listing that's putting more emphasis. So it starts out with, the gateway to historic Roswell living. It put in a few more things about Canton Street, um, and the walking lifestyle. So it's another neat thing. You can continue to have a conversation with ChatGPT. Um, so again, you can infinitely. And if you look down this left side of my screen where I've got all these chats, so you can just start a new chat, and that would be a continued conversation. So that thread that you're on will continue forever, and you can keep asking, um, the chat GPT to generate more and more content. Doug or Tracy, you guys got questions?
Just a quick one. I realize this is basic, but the website you use is chatgpt.com.
Yes.
Do
And this is the
you,
free version.
okay,
So I purposefully did not, I'm doing this in the free version of it, so there's no, extra bells and whistles or anything. This is totally accessible to anybody that you do have to sign up for an account, so that, you put in an email and a name or something in there, but it's very, very much a free tool that's out there. Um, just like most things, at some point in time, it will be monetized. There'll probably be ads in there or whatever. At some point, but for right now, it's a pretty robust tool, that doesn't have a cost to it. You can upgrade, and that'll allows you to get more sophisticated in creating some of the models and have it do a few more things. There's some integrations with things like email and some things that you might get more sophisticated with, but yeah, I purposely wanted to just use the most accessible version of this to um, show and tell here.
Gordon, I once needed a legal document. A seller was disclosing to the buyer that the seller had done work to the property without getting the necessary permits. And he wanted to make sure that the buyer was aware of this and that the buyer might need to get the work inspected or potentially redo any of the work. I first asked the seller, why did you do that? Why did you go do this work without permits? And he said, I had a tree fall through the roof and I wanted to not just throw a blue tarp up there, but I wanted to protect the inside from water damage. So I did it quickly. It would have taken longer to get the proper permits. But I asked ChatGPT, I gave it a little information and said, I need a legal document, seller disclosure and hold harmless for to the buyer for work done without proper permits. And I was really pleasantly surprised. I'm an attorney and I could have drawn it up from scratch, but it really did a nice job. It was short, it was only a page, page and a half, and it covered a lot of the information that I would have had to type manually. So I was able to take it, make some edits, and was really pleased with the result that it gave me. And it saved so much time from typing it from scratch. And that was one of the points you made earlier, is that a lot of your chat GPT searches, you don't need to take it as is, but it's a great starting point to edit.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask, um, suggest pictures for each of the social posts. So it's giving me suggestions, but it's not going to find pictures for me. You might be able to have it create a picture, but that might be more trouble than it's worth. But this is a fun thing that you can, again, you can start to play around with any of the things that, might make your life easier, business move faster. Um, again, as I mentioned at the beginning, you really want to treat this like a personal assistant. Have it go do some things for you, that you can then, either edit or implement. So,
Gordon, I really appreciated your suggestion to Pixabay, Pixabay. While we were going through the presentation, I pulled it up. Over 5.1 million images that you can use anywhere. Could you pull that up and show that
Yeah.
to our participants? What kind of photos you have access? And Pixabay is only one site. I'm sure there are other similar sites, but it's a way to get royalty-free, as it says, royalty-free images that you can use for your social media, your listings, and other purposes.
So here, like I was talking about, that first picture where you had a winter house for sale, right? So they always put at the top some that are stock images. So these ones are at the beginning are going to be ones you would have to pay for. But then you see where it says royalty-free image. So then you can scroll down and have all kinds of images that you and some of it is going to this is not the one you're going to use this guy maybe for something else, but a picture like this with the little winter scene would be a great thing for a social media post, and then link back to the article that you in air quotes you wrote for uh, the benefits of buying a house in the wintertime. So it makes it very easy to start to create a robust, content calendar, especially when you think about social medias and email marketing campaigns and things like that to have someone help write all that content. And you literally probably in like 2 hours on a slow day could have your whole year's, calendar populated and scheduled to go out with sort of stock content. And then all you have to do is, do on the fly marketing, when you're out doing a showing or you've got a new property or something that's very specific or timely that you want to put out there, then you're doing what's timely, in the moment, but everything else is happening automatically. Um, so I think that's a really neat way to use this kind of technology.
We've already found several uses for it, from helping to generate listing content, social media posts, and so forth. I want to throw it open to our attendees today. Does anyone have any questions or suggestions about the material that we're covering?
Thanks, Gordon. It was a really nice presentation. I appreciate it. I learned a lot.
Sounded like somebody was chiming in, but I couldn't hear them.
Oh, I was just saying that I appreciated your presentation. It was really great. I learned a lot. So thank you.
So Melissa, what's the biggest thorn in your side? I mean, what are some of the things that, are eat up your time that when we might ask ChatGPT to do?
Just social media posting, really. I'm just trying to, I always struggle with my social media posting. And so I have played around with Chat GPT for verbiage, or write this way, or maybe something like that. But I didn't realize that it had the capabilities of really writing articles for you, or, really laying out calendars. I use it mainly for like what's the best subject line, for emailers and things like that. So there's really a lot in play here, and I'm always looking for pixels or pictures to put in inside as well. So it really just laid out an easy plug and play for me to work on today and through the weekend to build out my social calendar. So it's
Cool,
appreciated.
cool.
I
Yeah,
thought
it's
Gordon had a great tip, and that is uh, don't think of it as a computer algorithm or a Google search. Think of it if you were asking a live person what you would want them to do, and frame the question the same way to Chat GPT. For example, the very first one was, help me develop a real estate centric social media calendar, for the next 12 months. And it in a way it went with, well, here's a couple of ideas by month and so forth. And then the same way you would ask an assistant, write a blog post about the benefits of buying a home in the winter and things. And it came up with very quickly a couple of blog suggestions that you can take either one. And if once you have one, you can ask it to refine it further. to emphasize a point that you want to make or things like that, and it will just keep rewriting it at your direction.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it really it takes a lot of the sort of grunt work or busy work out of your life. And again, the real mindset or shift is Google trained us to ask questions in as few words as possible, right? What are the two or three keywords that I can put in to get to the search results that I want? And so that's your sort of your mindset when you sit down and start to engage in the internet, right? Um, and with ChatGPT, the more specific you get with your question, then the better outcome you're going to get from the content standpoint. Um, and like Doug said, I mean, you can easily say, okay, make this specific. If I could type to the Atlanta GA market. Let's see what it. So now it's, doing it just for the Atlanta market. So if you were more hyper focused than all of Atlanta and you were just doing, North Fulton County or just in a certain area, you could, keep refining. So it's got it's building a whole new calendar, now that it knows it's in Atlanta with some more specific Atlanta content. So, um, yeah, I think it's a great resource. I'm in a technology industry and I don't think that this is going to take my job away. So I see it more as my friend and how it can help me. I heard someone talk about AI in general, and it said at one point we went from a slide ruler to a calculator, right? And this is just going to the next calculator, right? This is the next way in which are leveraging new technology to help make our lives more efficient. So anyway, I appreciate the time. If there's no more questions, I'm happy to keep playing with it and show you some other things if you got other questions. Um, so
Just
Doug,
in closing, an interesting comment from a presentation I attended last Thursday, and they were talking about the use of artificial intelligence. And you touched on, will this replace someone's job? And in this particular case, they were using artificial intelligence to help underwrite mortgage loan applications. And some people said, this is going to take our jobs away. Others said, I love this. I can do twice as many loans in a day. I can make
yeah,
more money because I can process loan underwriting faster than I could without AI assistance. So everything can cut both ways. If you take it and say, this isn't going to replace my job, but it can help me do my job faster, better, and therefore lead to making more money.
yeah. No, that's an excellent point.
In closing, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today for our presentation, and a special thanks to our friend Gordon Owens for presenting today. We record our presentations, our Business Builder Speaker Series. We'll add the opening and closing credits theme music, polish it up. We'll post it on our YouTube channel, and you're welcome to go to YouTube and search for Shafritz and Dean. Additionally, once we post it on our YouTube channel, on our website, under the Resource tab, is a link to the Business Builder Speaker Series, and we have links to take you to each of the videos. You're welcome to go back and review those and share those with others that might benefit. So thank you again for joining us today, and a special thanks to Gordon for being our guest host today.
Thanks for having me, Doug.
We wish everyone all the best in your real estate, and let Shafritz and Dean know how we can help you with your real estate closings. Thanks, and we will catch you next time.